Fine, Cheddar. We'll talk about the tweet, okay? We'll talk about the tweet. So here's the leak. Tuesday community streams on Twitch and Friday community nights on Discord are going on a hiatus. So that's the leak. That's the one. For a few weeks so we can focus on our Chapter 2 launch prep and improving our events. Can we take some keywords from this though? A few weeks. Can we look at this? The 24th is in a week. So for all of you that think that we're getting Chapter 2 on the 24th or the 25th, probably not. Probably not. We'll probably get it, I think, either Tuesday the 30th or Thursday to the 1st. But I have a hard time believing that they'd drop an update on April Fool's Day. But possibly. They might. Alright. Get my face out of the way. Let's go right here. Right in the empty spot on the right side of the screen. Marcus chooses to some pretty good positioning here and decides to stick with it, you know? He's got a full open space on the right side of the screen and he's going to take it for himself. Solid. Solid spot. Look at me. I'm in the game. Look at me, Mom. So as you guys can see, this is probably, most likely, the new game mode. Judging by literally everything, by all of it. I don't like facing this side of the screen. Like, I want to be facing this way. Can I talk this way? So that way I'm facing the middle. So, biggest things that you should take is they leaked 3 of the upcoming talents, chat. 3 of them. These are all new talents that we have not seen before and were not leaked last week or in my videos that I talked about. But there's really nothing on this side of the screen, right? We're going to just cut this side, like the side that I'm on. There's nothing over here that I can see, at least. I don't know, where do we start? The top? So new game mode. Look at these bars here. It looks to be some type of point system, possibly TDM. It does have a timer though, which indicates, like, I'm assuming that's a timer. I don't know what this is, but I'm assuming this and this are clearly points, right? And we're going to be getting to a certain amount of points. So we could do TDM. And then I don't know what these are. It looks like a sun, a moon, and a star. I think that's a sun. Or it's like a downed orb or something. What we could think of is like Destiny type, where you can get these buffs that will increase the amount of health you get per kill. That's a possibility. That's if I'm thinking TDM, right? Would be you take these buffs, you get 3 points per kill, or you can like capture it, right? Or you can do domination, where it's, which would make more sense for like a timer, where if you capture these things over time, you accumulate points. So there'd be a position sun and a position moon and a position star, and you have to go and capture it like domination in Call of Duty. And then you get more points per the time that you hold it. But this counter is kind of weird because that doesn't really fit with that. I would think maybe these like open up after a certain amount of time, possibly, if they're getting real unique with their game modes, and then you have to capture them. Or there's some type of system that you have to capture in this 90 seconds. There's 90-second rounds, and then this is the amount of rounds that each team has won. So there's a lot of different options just with this top little bar here. As far as game mode, Clash 2.0, I mean, it might be Clash 2.0. Seems a little more in-depth than that. You wouldn't be super surprised because I think they're taking everything in steps, right? Like, I think they're working their way up towards their perfect game mode, or they're building up a whole repertoire of game modes. So that way they have like a bunch of different things that you can choose from, or maybe like 3 or 4 different that you can choose from. Or it can be like, as far as the entire set of game modes, there's like a few options, right? There is what I think a lot of us were thinking Spellbreak was going to be, since it's a smaller game. It could be like just a BR and then one other game mode that's like the ranked mode. And I think that's what a lot of us thought it was going to be, but I don't think they're necessarily going that direction. And then there's also like Overwatch, where you have a ranked mode that rotates between like 3 different modes, and then you play whatever random map or mode you get dealt, and then that's how the ranked mode works, and there's like quick play and LTMs other than that. Or it can be like Call of Duty style, where there's like domination, search and destroy, capture the flag, stuff like that, and you can choose each one, the specific one that you want. I would lean more towards like Overwatch style than Call of Duty style, or somewhere like in between, but it's not looking like we're gonna get like BR and one other game mode at this point. And I think that's something to keep in mind as a community, is like, we don't know exactly where we're aiming at, right? As far as like their game mode setup, like the base of the game, how the game is going to work. We don't really know exactly what they're aiming at. So it's like, we need to keep that in mind when we're like in imagination land, that we're imagining things without knowing like the base. So we can just end up anywhere because we don't know really where they're aiming. So keep that in mind. But okay, let's get back to breaking down this picture. So choose a gauntlet. Looks like you get a random set of gauntlets, and the reason I'm saying random is because there's only 3 of them, and you can reroll. And this is just some type of store. There's no point system or monetary value assigned to any of these, which is kind of weird, right? Which means everything costs the same amount and you're just randomly dealt it. Yeah, there's no monetary value. So it's not like you find a rare wind and it's worth three monies, and then a common wind's worth 1 money. It's just everything's the same. And these are all common. So I'm assuming it like scales up over time, right? So everybody starts with common, and then as you go through the store or as you reroll and like buy stuff, you'll get dealt higher and higher rarities, I guess, which is interesting, right? This can play out a lot of ways because it's RNG, right? Which a lot of people are going to be upset about, because people get upset about RNG in like ranked modes. But again, keep in mind, this is the first iteration of their ranked mode, and a buy system like this and an actual, hopefully it seems to be an actual mode with some type of objective. I'm thinking either TDM, which I hope it's not, please don't be TDM, or maybe like domination. That's what this seems to be leading towards. It doesn't look like capture the flag. It could be maybe like a king of the hill, and so you have to capture this hill and then this hill and then this hill after the 90 seconds or something. Or it's just something like completely new that we haven't seen. But it looks like, just looking at these, right, these are all gauntlets. You're not being dealt anything else. And it actually specifically says choose a gauntlet. So maybe there's different areas that you have to take to where you can buy these things, and one is like, say like the sun is like the gauntlets, the moon is like the runes, and then the stars are like the items or something maybe, and you have to go to this person and spend money however you get it. That could also be another thing with these, is maybe it is just a straight up TDM, but you have things that you can capture that give you more money to upgrade your loot. It does look like, judging by him, it looks like he's going to be selling gauntlets, obviously, which are on his back. He's got runes right here on his hip. He's got scrolls on his back. He's got amulets. So it looks like you're gonna get everything through these dealer people. And if you want to get real cheeky, you can go for the scroll. Scroll under his little kiln here. He's like, if you want a discount, you can grab this scroll, baby. But yeah, we had to go there at some point in this breakdown, you know? What you want. I mean, there's 3 options, right? And plus it says you have reroll and 3, so I'm assuming you get 3 rerolls. Say you don't want any of these gauntlets, you click reroll and you're pretty much guaranteed to get the gauntlet you want. And then say you go and you like look at your runes and you don't see a rune that you want, then you can reroll and then you get more stuff. But I'm assuming you're going to be presented like gauntlets. You click, you're going to be presented runes. You click, you're going to be presented amulets. Amulets, belts, boots, stuff like that. But I just noticed this. Respawn timeout, 14 seconds. So it's not a 1 life mode. When I wanted a new mode, I wanted like a Valorant style mode where it was 1 life. You go, you try to plant a bomb or something, and then you win the round, and then you try again. So this isn't that. But it has implemented a buy system of sorts, which could be leading into that eventually. I'm really interested because it could be something like really interesting, just judging by this top part up here is where I'm getting like most of the information. and the respawn. So it's a respawn mode. There's 3 types of things that you can capture, and then there's a point system. This is a death screen. You can change your gauntlets or something, maybe, and then respawn. Yeah. So it looks like you have to die to purchase. You might not have to. You might be able to go and buy in-game or have a menu in-game, but it might cause you to die or like somehow go back to this screen and be out of the fight, which for something like fast-paced respawn is a little bit interesting, because every second that you're choosing between these things is a second that you're not in the fight. So say you're playing TDM and you're sitting here and you're like, I want to pick a gauntlet and I don't know what to pick. And you're sitting here for like 30 seconds. That's 30 seconds that your teammates are 4v5, right? Or 3v2 or whatever. 9v8 if we're going with Clash. Just based off of these 3 things here, it does not seem like it's going to be just a base TDM. Like, you buy your gauntlet, you fight, you die, you get a point. It seems like it's going to be a little bit more in depth than that. I feel like 5 other gauntlets, 3 rerolls, you're very likely to get the gauntlet you want. Yeah. Unless that reroll is spread. I mean, that's 100%. Unless reroll is spread across the whole selection process. I would assume that you probably get 3 rerolls either like every time you go to get stuff, because it's like, if you have to die to do this, how many times are you going to be in this screen in a game or a round, especially if it's 90 seconds, maybe once or twice. So it might be like, okay, I got my gauntlet and then I click this and then you just get like a random 3 things, and then you can maybe re-roll it 3 times every time you die, or it's 3 times every time, 3 times throughout the entire match or round or whatever it is. The only problem I would have is if it changed rarity. I'm thinking that it scales over time. That like as the matches or the rounds go on, that you get higher and higher rarity stuff. Because I think if it was anything other than that, we wouldn't see 3 common gauntlets here. But Respawn does seem to say that it's later in the match. No, I take that back. It's not later in the match because it's 0-0. So this is probably the first buy. This is your very first selection, is to pick a gauntlet. But I don't know. If anything, if I take anything from this, this is a dope skin. I hope this skin is in the game. But going back to the right as well, that hints more to this being the very first buy, is they don't have any upgraded talents, which I'm assuming you have to buy. And then they don't have any other gear over here. So maybe you can't even... Maybe you don't have a set of talents in this, and you just have these base talents that increase over the game, and you don't have a build, which would kind of lend itself to why more of the talents go towards BR, but I don't think that they would do that. I think they would want to implement, if they're going to add in a whole new set of talents at the same time as a new game mode, that they'd want the talents to play to the game mode a little bit. New gilded talent makes spirit scrolls affect rarity. Pretty sure they confirmed on one of the talent streams that the talents will be across all game modes. Yeah, see, like, look at, that's gilded is a 4-point talent, so it's the most expensive. And if you're looking at this, say you get all white stuff, and then you get 1 spirit scroll, which I would assume you have to buy, then it would level up everything. That seems really strong for this, if you can buy scrolls like that. Maybe this has to do with the scrolls. The sun, the moon, and the star has to do with upgrading your scrolls. I wonder if those 3 symbols might reflect rotating active capture points, similar to how Paladins did Onslaught mode. Yeah, that could be it too, like a King of the Hill mode, where it's like, okay, this is open. Because it doesn't look like any of these are open. They're either all open, or none of them are open because nobody spawned in yet. So there's like a good bit of information in this screenshot. So we know we got a little bit of RNG, at least for your first loadout when you land or spawn in or whatever you do in this game mode. We know we can re-roll. We know it's a respawn match. We know it's some type of point system, which obviously, and then there's a timer with 3 seemingly objectives. It's a lot of information to be leaked at once. And I think the RNG aspect is probably the biggest. The fact that we have a store now is just like, even if it is RNG, it's like a big step in the right direction. I think that's something that Proletariat doesn't want to do, is just drop a game mode and then have it suck because they haven't tested any of this stuff before. So say they are doing like a Valorant mode. This could be a test store for the Valorant mode to iron out all the kinks before they get into like the more in-depth modes. Or this could be just a super in-depth mode and they're in on it. Is the map going to change? Oh yeah, wait, the map? Ooh. We didn't talk about the map. I would assume that it's not the entire BR map, and judging by the background, maybe it takes, I mean, I feel like it has to take place in Dust Pool, which is pretty, if you look at Dust Pool from above, it's very much easily split in half, right? It's a semicircle, so all you do is you take the semicircle and you split it in half. There could be multiple areas too. Dust Pool could be just one of them. They could probably split, like, Lowland is pretty balanced. They could even do like special arenas just for this game mode. But it seems that Dust Pool, like just looking at it logically, it seems that Dust Pool would be the easiest to split in half and make it basically perfectly balanced. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, we're getting a new game mode, which is exciting. And it seems to be more in-depth than Clash, so it's like an actual option, hopefully, that's not BR for people who are very much into the game. It seems like BR seems to be the only option at this point. But new game mode coming soon.